Hi everyone, Sarah Morris here with Morris Design Co. I'm a certified interior designer and I wanted to share a little bit today about why and what is a design consultation. Now, I know there are a lot of questions and myths out there about what an interior designer does. And so I want to share a little bit of that and also give you some insight into if you were to hire a designer like me for a design consultation, what does that look like? What are the steps in it? So I want to share with you a few things about what would happen. So first of all, if you set an appointment, I would email you a questionnaire, and within the questionnaire, it would ask you to share a little bit about yourself, about what your likes and dislikes are, about how you use your space, how often you entertain, what your design style is, and then I might ask you to send me a few pictures of rooms that you like, the styles that you like, and or perhaps share your Pinterest board. And then from there, we would meet for our consult. And so some people might have a consultation because they say, okay, I cannot figure out the layout of this room. It's just difficult. The flow doesn't work. So I might come in and look at your furniture layout, possibly be able to rearrange your furniture right then and there. I've done that a few times, and it's amazing the difference that it makes just moving a couple pieces around. And the flow works, it feels more balanced, and suddenly the room feels like a new room. Other instances could be where we talk about here's how you could rearrange it, but perhaps you need to purge some things. Perhaps you need to get rid of this particular chair, or in some instances, a sofa, because it's too large or whatever the issue might be. And so I would suggest that you do that, but then also here's what you could replace it with. So we would talk about things to get rid of, things to move around. And then for some people, what they need is a color consultation. Now, I know that some people they just painted their room and now they're like, what do I do with it? So you're not probably going to want to change the color again. But for those of you who are about to paint a room, who are ready for something fresh, what I like to do is bring a color board. So like this is a color board with actual Benjamin Moore linen white painted on it. So the actual color is painted on the board. This is much different than a swatch that you would get, at your local paint store. I have a ton of swatches, but it looks a little bit different when you put it on the wall. The paint actually on a board or on your wall is going to look different than on the little swatch. So I have these boards that we can actually hold up and see. You usually don't want to hold it up to what's against the wall, but you hold it up to something white and look at it with the pieces of furniture or fabrics that you might already have in the room and see what will work. If you are not going to switch out anything, any existing furniture or anything else in the room, you just want to paint and use what's already there. So we talk about what colors will work, and so that you can plan your project for either in the near future or somewhere down the line. And then finally, some people, what they like to do in a 2-hour consultation is talk about what would you purchase for my room. If I were to, you're not ready to purchase at this moment, but in the next few months, what do you suggest that I purchase? So I would go through, first of all, look at the space layout, look at the colors, talk about, again, sometimes there are things that need to be purged or moved to a different area in your home, and then talk about here's what I would purchase. So I might suggest drapery. I might suggest a new chair. I might suggest a rug, and where to purchase these things. We would talk about your budget and how much you want to spend, and then based on that budget and your style, here's where I would suggest that you purchase these items. Sometimes people just need a couple lamps because the lighting in there is very poor. Sometimes you might need a console table behind your sofa because it doesn't need to be all the way up against the wall. It needs to be pulled in a little bit. It makes it a bit cozier in the room and everything more intimate. You have more of a conversation area. So we talk about all those little things. Sometimes we're able to do more than one room. And this is something that, you would have to take responsibility for of, okay, I've got to, figure out in this 2 hours, what can we accomplish? And so we would be very thorough in each room, but at the same time, we would not get too chatty. So we would make sure that, we talk about what needs to be done, and then perhaps we are able to move to a second room. And you say, okay, this bedroom, it's not working. Again, we would go through the same steps, talk about what you need, talk about what I would suggest that you do moving forward. Now, from this point, there are usually one of three options. So some people, they're able to just finish everything themselves, and they're like, I got it. I know exactly what to do. I can take it from here. And it's totally worth the 2-hour consult, because now they have a direction and they can take care of the rest. There's a second kind of person, and this is often very helpful for people that work a lot, that have busy lives, that are like, I loathe just shopping and I don't know what to buy. So what I do is, after that consultation, we measure, we look at the whole space, we talk about what their needs are, and then I create a space layout. And often then I create a rendering so they can visually see what's going to go into the space. And then in addition, I create a list of purchase items, and a lot of times this is retail items that then you can purchase on your own. You log into my studio, you click on the links, and you know exactly what to purchase, exactly what the pricing is. We've talked about your budget, so it's all going to match up to what's within your budget. And sometimes there are things that people want to switch out. Perhaps you don't like the finish on a mirror or something like that, and so we can switch that out. But this is a lot of times what people like to do, so they don't have to go and figure out, okay, I don't know, is this what she was talking about? Is this what I should put in my space? You know exactly what to purchase, and you can do it yourself. And then you set everything up yourself, and it looks amazing. And then there's a third kind of person who really likes working with to-the-trade items, that they don't want to necessarily go and purchase retail items. And at this point, I also want to just kind of give an insight into what the difference is between retail and designer products. So designer products, I think people think, oh, it's designer, just like designer shoes or designer handbag or whatever it might be. So it must be expensive. I have to tell you, designer products are not always expensive. And oftentimes, when you are working directly with a designer, oftentimes the products that they can purchase can be less than what you would go online and purchase at Wayfair or Paragold or whatever it might be. It might be less than those items. Working with a designer can actually possibly save you money. A friend of mine who's a great designer, she kind of compared at the end of a project, if the person were to go online and purchase these items and then compare it to how much they paid, how much she charged them for her design fee and for the items, they were able to save $3,000 on a design concept for a whole room, $3,000 off of what the retail price would have been if they had purchased the items themselves. So there can be actually a literal cost savings if you work with a designer. And I know that probably seems like, oh, she's trying to, that doesn't sound real. Well, for a lot of people, it is real. There are a lot of trade companies and vendors that have amazing products, and we're able to get them at reasonable prices to then sell to our clients. And you can get one-of-a-kind things. Your whole house doesn't have to look like you shopped at Pottery Barn. It can actually look like your style, your custom lamp, or your custom chair, and it does not have to be exorbitant amounts of money. And also, one other thing is that things like curtains. People have a misconception about the cost of drapery, and though it is costly, there are some great options out there. For example, this is not drapery. This is actually these are Roma fabrics for upholstery. I guess you could use it for drapery also. This is a velvet, but this company has great fabrics, great wallpapers, and I mean, you don't have to spend the crazy amounts of money that you might think. You can actually get a great bathroom for, say, under $500. Wallpaper a bathroom for under $500. Just quick little examples of things. Another reason that you might have a designer purchase everything for you and take care of all of the ordering. Recently, I had a client order a mirror, and when the mirror came, the the electricians were hanging it up for her in the bathroom, and it had a small crack at the bottom. So I contact the vendor. They send another mirror. The mirror, before it even comes off the truck, is literally shaking and making a ton of noise. So we know it's already broken. This happens then a third time, or a second time of being completely broken. So we had to keep going back and forth, and I was like thinking, are we going to have to get a different mirror? Next thing I know, the company says, you know what, just keep that first mirror. We're going to completely wrap up a fourth mirror and send it to you. So now she's able to, finally the fourth mirror came. It looks amazing. It's perfect condition. And then she's able to keep that one that was just slightly damaged. She can put it in a different bathroom that's less heavily trafficked, and nobody really would know the difference. But she didn't have to contact the vendor, go back and forth, figure out the delivery, tell them it's broken, figure out, I was going to ship it back if we were going to ship it back. So she would have had to do nothing. So it really can save you a lot of time, a lot of stress, and you can get some really great products. This isn't for everyone, I know, but I know for a lot of you, you would fit into one of those three categories. So I think there are some great options out there for you. I would love to work with you. I would love to consult with you in your home. One of my greatest joys about this business is the relationships with the people and getting to know my clients, getting to know their families. It's such a joy. And so I would love to work with you. If you want to head on over to my webpage, morrisdesignco.com, you can figure out right there, you can either call me, you can text me, you can email me, and I'd love to set up an appointment to work with you. Thanks so much.